Welcome, guys. It's Mike, and I have another review for you. But before we get into that review, guys, happy Friday, happy Frog Friday. Today, guys, on my wrist, I am wearing the Poison Frog Snake Killer. This is the GW201-6JF, and under the sunlight, this one really dances. Gorgeous. Happy Frog Friday, guys. But anyway, today I have a different review for you. Guys, today I have a Doxa, and this is from my good friend and fellow watch enthusiast, Dane. I often talk about Dane because he lends me quite a few watches from his collection in for review. He is a certified diver, and he has actually used this watch in the ocean in Miami. So he has actually used his Doxa for diving. I am a desk diver. I don't make any apologies for that, but he is an actual diver as well in his spare time. So well done, Dane, and thank you for lending this watch in. So today, guys, we have the Doxa Sub 200 Aqua Marine. This is a gorgeous piece. Wow. Immediately feels like class in the hand. It just feels so well made. Such a lovely piece. I'll get a close-up in there for you if I can. Absolute lovely watch, and in the sunlight that aquamarine really pops. It is a lovely dial. You can see the aquamarine signed crown there as well. So before I carry on gushing over this one, guys, let's get into some stats. So the Doxa Sub 200 case size is a 42mm. The lug to lug is a 46mm. So it's a short lug to lug, guys. For a 42mm, it is kind of small. I tried it on my 7 3/4, and I'll show you later when I put it on. And it does wear like a 40. It really does. Profile like a 40mm. So if you like those smaller watches, this is perfect. The height is 14mm with that domed sapphire crystal included. The lug width, now here's a thing, you've probably seen this before, guys, but if you're new to the channel and new to Doxa, this lug width is 19mm, but the bracelet is 20mm. So I'm sure, and Dane has assured me that there are plenty of 19mm strap options out there. I mean, I would keep it on the beads of rice bracelet anyway, but to have this 19mm lug width with these twisted lyre lugs, I mean, it's a lovely looking design. It's more like, you know, the BW Beetle. You either like it or you hate it, and I actually like the design there, the way the lugs twist, those lyre lugs twist in. But 19mm at the lug width and 20mm bracelet, that makes for an odd design. The clasp is a milled clasp. It's stamped, and the dive extension is pressed. This is an Achilles heel for some people. I mean, with this watch, because it's Dane's, for me to put it on, I would have to use the dive extension because his wrist is smaller than mine. So to show you, I'd have to use the dive extension. But I mean, if this was my watch and I was the owner, I would hardly use that dive extension anyway, guys, because I'm a desk diver. So that doesn't really bother me. If that bothers you, then, you know, that's something to look out for. But beautiful beads of rice bracelet, really well articulated here. You know, you can pretty much fold it on top of itself. Really good links, articulation of the links here, and the pins are screw pins, so nice and easy to adjust for yourself. Now, the movement in this particular model is the Sellita SW200-1. They did start off when they were first launched in 2019 with the ETA 2824-2, but later on they've been using in the later years they've been using the Salita movement. Still a good movement, still a very good movement. You've got a nice, lovely case back there, and it is a fingerprint magnet, guys. Most of these lovely polished cases are. You can see where it's polished around the edge there. It is just a fingerprint magnet. But Dane doesn't worry about that because he actually uses it. He does use his watches, and you don't worry about fingerprints when you're diving. So anyway, lovely case pack design there. You've got all of the printing on the case back for what the watch has, like your sapphire crystal, water resistance, which is water resistant for 200 meters, and various other bits and pieces on there which you would normally find on a beautiful case back of a nice dive watch. Now, coming back to this aquamarine dial, which I said, as I told you earlier on, guys, this really pops. Very minimalistic dial. You just got Doxa at the top at the 12 there. You've got the 200, sub 200 at the 6 o'clock there with, it won't be in frame, it won't be in focus here, but it does say Swiss there for the Swiss movement. You've got a nice framed, framed date window, and the movement is crisp when that date comes into the window as well, guys. It just locks in. It feels very solid. Nice raised applied indices, as you can see, and they are filled with BGW9, as is the sapphire bezel insert, filled with BGW9. Now, I say that in that tone, but let me get on to a couple of things that would stop me from buying this watch. Firstly, as I mentioned earlier, it's just too small, and I'll show you a Wristshot in a minute. It's just too small for me. My wrist and hand dwarf this watch because it wears like a 40mm. But the lume on this watch it leaves a lot to be desired. Considering it's BGW9, there is a lot to be desired with this lume. Now, for some that doesn't really matter. For me, as you know, I love lume, and for a lot of you out there as well, love lume. That would be a problem. This watch would be a problem if you love lume, guys, because there really isn't much, and I will show you that in a bit. This case, incidentally, is styled on the 11804 Doxa design from the 70s. And it really does look like a nice 70s retro watch, which I actually really like. If they made this a little bigger, if they made this in, say, an actual 44, then that pared down to a 42 or more like a 42, then this would be one that I would not be able to pass up, especially at this price point for this Swiss made watch here. These can be had now on the Doxa website for $990 US. So for under 1,000, you get your Salita SW200 -1 movement. You get sapphire crystal. You get a lovely case design. You get this beautiful bracelet. It's a really good deal, guys. But I would say that the reason I wouldn't get one is because it's just too small, and the lume, I just couldn't live with the lume. So let me give you a wrist shot while I'm talking about it, guys. Let me just place the watch in frame there and give you a quick wrist shot. As I said, Dane's wrist is smaller than mine, so I would actually have to use the dive extension to try this watch on my 7 3/4 inch wrist. And I'll show you in shot here. You can see my wrist and actual fist combination just dwarfs the watch. I mean, some people like that look. I prefer a bigger case size, a bigger looking case size. I do have some 42 mil watches, case size watches, but they're actual 42s. This case wears smaller because of the way the lugs taper in, so it actually looks too small on my wrist for me anyway. You may disagree. Let me know in the comments what do you think, but I think that's too small for me. Let me give you a lume shot, guys, because that's the other reason why this would be a pass for me. And what I'm going to do is I'm even going to give it a blast just to show you It's a shame because they even went as far as to add the loomed bezel, and it's still, I think it's just a poor application of lume, to be honest. So let me hit the lights here. Okay, so this is making the lume look really good, and it starts off really well. The thing about it, guys, is it just doesn't last, and that's the shame about it, right? 20 minutes and that would be all but gone. You know, you have your Seiko and it will last all night long. Various other brands, you know, the lume just lasts. I mean, it really is a shame because this would be gorgeous if it only lasted. Actually really do love the addition of the sapphire bezel, lume bezel insert. But anyway, guys, as you know, I love lume and I would stare at that all night long. So I'm not going to. So there you have it, guys. That is the Doxa Sub 200. Lovely way to try the Doxa to see if I would really like one, if it would really suit me. I really still like them. I think I would really like to try the Sub 300T. Obviously double the price, but you know, I think that style would suit me better. But yeah, this is a lovely watch. If you can pull off a 40mm watch, this is a lovely piece to get at 42mm. So there it is, guys. That was my review of the Doxa Sub 200. I'm going to leave it there, guys. Wear all of your watches in the very best of health. And until next time, take care.